Good morning, YouTube. It's your man George Page, aka the Pervy Sage, coming to you live on YouTube. Well, it finally happened, true believers. As you all know, just recently, Christina Justina, aka Cyborg, has been dropped from the UFC. Like a man, Coach Shelton Harrison, aka Coach Adamas, predicted that this was going to happen. As you know, Cyborg was offered a multi-fight deal, meaning she will only fight maybe 6 fights a year. Now, this is going to be kind of difficult. As you know, Cyborg is at least at 34 years old. She's been fighting almost 20 years. And you got to think about it. Even if, you know, how good a fighter she is, she can't hold up fighting for at least 6 fights a year. You know, like you have to think about, that's a fight per year. The deal was that he wanted a contract. At least she fight at least maybe 2 or 3 fights in a year until she got her opportunity for a rematch against Amanda Nunes. And and as you've been seeing playing out in the in social media and in the news, that how comments are made and how this whisker biscuit bald headed bastard Dana White was saying that Cyborg was scared to fight Amanda Nunes, and then the lion ass queen Nunes riding along on Dana White's dick on the same issue. But Cyborg is a champion. She has been a champion. She's been a trooper. She took it on the chin till she finally had to say, enough's enough. And I know maybe it was part of her negotiation strategy, and it may backfire on her, or it's just that Dana White didn't want to bring in Cyborg. Cyborg was a destroyer when she first came into the UFC about 3 or 4 years ago. She really when she was fighting it. She was trying to fight a bantamweight, but it was impossible. Cyborg is a naturally big girl. She's like maybe 160, 170 walking around, and making 135 was killing her. So she had to do like catchweight fights at 140, and she was destroying her first two or three opponents. And then you had a lot of fighters that wanted to duck her, like such as Jermaine Duraname, who ducked her when she won the featherweight title. And then, and the featherweight division didn't have no real fighters. I mean, at the time, there was a couple of, you had the Holly Holm fight, and Holly Holm is a bantamweight. And then you had, when she beat, just recently she beat Felicia Spencer, aka Soccer Mom. And, and the other person who was a featherweight in the division was Mia Anderson. She's been running with the case of the Libertail. But now Cyborg's gone, and now what's going to happen is that Dana White's going to build up the featherweight division around probably Felicia Spencer. He's going to recruit probably a couple more fighters out of Invicta. He's going to wait to see who's going to win the title between Caitlin Strakenvakin Young and Pam Bam Sorensen. Like I said, Coach says he believed that more likely if Caitlin wins it, then he'll probably offer a chance to come to the UFC. If Pam wins it, he may offer, because she was originally one of the many number of female featherweights that tried out for the Tough Show that year, but she was turned down. Her, Cindy War, a couple others that were true featherweights. And the featherweights that did pick, they turned into bantamweights, like Macy Chazon, Bay Malecki, Patty Kenzad, and Leah Letson. But only one who really wanted to be a featherweight is Leah Letson. Leah, I think, is a big girl, and she wanted to fight at 145. Making 135 was probably really taxing on her. And and you understand, if people don't understand how making weight is, you gotta, if you are like it's different from boxing. UFC, you have to make the weight you're gonna make, and it's very difficult. Even if you just 2-3 pounds over, it's not good for you. They tell you that it's, if you go over so many pounds, you get fined. I think it's like a 20% purse cut. You take 20% out of your fight money and give it to your opponent, and that's you don't want to lose any kind of money when you're fighting, because these fighters don't get paid as much as you think they do. Especially the lower tier fighters. If you like top shelf fighters like let's say John Jones and Lucky Charms, motherfucker, Conor McGregor, and you got Usman and and Max Holloway. But it's just women carry more natural body fat than men. And because women have more curves. You gotta think about it. I'm gonna give my Pervy Sage moment right here. The breasts, the butt, the thighs, the hips. They carry more. They have a higher fat content, percentage than men. And losing that much weight, especially sometimes, you might have 2 to 3 months to your next fight. Sometimes not even that long. I mean, it might be a month before your next fight, maybe 3 weeks, and you got to try to make weight before then. That's a killer. And you seen what happened to Aspen Ladd. That girl nearly killed herself, and she probably gonna move to 145. That's another person that Dana White loves. She probably will make the push to 145 because she's not, making 135. Maybe not her. It's not a steed. But what's the future for Cyborg? Well, Cyborg, like I say, is a good fighter, and she's a legend. And you still got organizations like Bellator and One Championship, and there's also PFL. More likely, she might may not go to PFL because there's not really anybody to fight there other than Kayla Harrison. And Kayla Harrison, I think she wants to flow with her. Sorry, full time. I know you love her. That's your girl. You love her. 2-time Miss Gold medalist, but she has no chance against Cyborg. Even if she trained 2025, she's not going to defeat Cyborg. It's not going to happen. As you know, Bellator, Scott Coker has a good history with Cyborg. She was the former Strikeforce featherweight champion, and she defeated Gina Carano, and she had a good history of Strikeforce. Back then, there were some people that Amanda Nunes dodged her when she was in Strikeforce. Julia Budd dodged her. I mean, now Julia got no choice. If she comes to Bellator, she's gonna clean the house in the featherweight division, and she'll be fighting real featherweight. She can have a rematch with Leslie Smith is over there right now in Bellator. She's fighting at 145 because Bellator doesn't have 135 division for the women. There's Arlene Blanco. There's I think what was it, Charlita Noguera? Yeah, she fought Julia Budd last year for title, and you have Julia Budd. And Julia Budd has she cannot dodge Cyborg this time. She'll take her lumps. I don't know. Part of me feel like Julia might jump to UFC if she loses her title, because there will be no point for a rematch. In her history of rematches, Cyborg usually has come on top. And that was the thing about her rematch with Nunes. If she had fought Nunes and she played that same game she played when she fought Holly Holmes, she probably beat Amanda Nunes. If she took her deeper into the rounds, Amanda Nunes has no stamina. She peters out. Other than the last fight she fought past the first round, over 5 rounds was with her girlfriend's girlfriend, Peg Pennington. I did not call her Rocky. She did not deserve the title Rocky. Rocky fought. Rocky was a hero. Rocky never gave up. Rocky was a fighter. Oh, yo, Adrian. Yo, Adrian. She gave up. And, and I don't see, I just don't see Raquel as Rocky. I just call her Peg Pennington. I just call her Raquel. But Amanda Nunes right now, she's going to fight probably GDR for the 135 title, or they might say fight GDR for the 145 title, so they might give it back to GDR. If I think GDR probably can beat Amanda at 145. That means she can hit heavier, and as you know, GDR is a Muay Thai specialist. If she uses a Muay Thai style, I think Amanda can't handle it, especially if she uses those knees and that good clinch. Like I said, I'm not an expert. I'm just giving what I think as a fan, But like Coach said, and we talked about it last night on the live stream with CS Combat Sports family, that more likely they'll strip Amanda the title and put it up as for a tournament. When we recruit the rest of the female featherweights, then they'll probably have a tournament for the title. And that's not a good idea. Opportunity for people who really are naturally 145s to have a title. They should have done that with the flyweight title instead of giving to Nico. They should have had when the tough show ended that year for the women's flyweight division. They should have said, "Well, we're just going to have, you're going to get your contract, and then we're going to have a title match for the for the 125 title. It's going to be that's going to be a title tournament. That should have been better because, you would have real people who really want to be that champion, really want to fight, instead of somebody like Nico Montano who decided, you know what, I don't want to fight Valentina after she saw what she did to Priscilla Cachoeira. You know, but with Cyborg, she has a great future. She could do several things. Like I said, that she's been talking about doing boxing. If she, works on her punching, and she got her man Jason Pereira, who's her base or her best striking coach, and work on her boxing, and start off in maybe just a few lower tier fights, and then climb up. She could fight somebody like Cecilia Brækhus, or maybe Clarissa Shields, Christine Hammer, maybe even Hannah Gabriels. There's a lot of great women, female boxers, and so a name like Cyborg really can help female boxers. It needs that help because female boxers don't get the money like the men do, and they don't get the promotion like the men do. It's just a double standard with women boxing. It's still a struggle for them. Or she can go back to doing professional Muay Thai for a while. I mean, her one of her biggest losses aside of losing to Amanda Nunes is to Jarena Jojo Bars, and I would love to see that. That's gonna be a great rematch now that she has developed as a fighter, and her and Jarena can fight each other again just for the hell of it. But I think more likely Bellator, that's where she's going. Scott Cole got a big check waiting for her, and he would love to have her there, and then she can make more money not just from fighting, but as you know, UFC they no longer allow fighters who have promoter, to have sponsors. Like back in the day, they used to wear under trunks, and sponsors had badges, and and so the outfit made from just one sponsor sometimes. But because they had a contract with UFC with Reebok, they don't allow that. Sponsors, because you can see sponsors slap on in the octagon, but not on the fighters anymore. And that would be extra money that they can help her, help her out along the way. But anyway, good luck to our well, she's no longer on she's the lady, the queen of our no love list on UFC, and maybe before she times out, her wall of destruction will grow, and often we say, this from if I'm a TG fan, she is the Borg, resistance is futile. So good luck to you, Cris, and I hope things turn out better for you as it was at a UFC. And to Dana White, fuck you, bald-headed bastard, Mr. Clean, evil motherfucker. Go somewhere and suck Joe Ho Rogan, tell Ho Rogan to suck your dick. It's your man George Page, aka the Pervy Sage. Likes, don't like. I'm out.